What's up? It's George the Fragrance Apprentice. Spring is finally, oh my god, where have you been? You know, moving to Edinburgh was a good idea in principle until winter came and it never stopped being dark. I have got a vitamin D deficiency, and as I'm starting to compile a spring top 10 list this year that actually has a lot of new fragrances, I wanted to look back and talk about some fragrances that I have consistently recommended over nearly the past 10 years. But before we get into that, if you want your own private fragrance consultation, I'm now doing Zoom fragrance consultations. I'm doing a trial run only for 3 months, just see how it goes. I announced this a couple of days ago, and already pretty much all of March is booked. Didn't really expect that. I didn't expect there to be sort of really any fragrance consultations, but I guess that in a way I'm the only person that's doing this, so thank you, I really appreciate that. The last week of March is still intact, and April and May is pretty much good, so if you want to book your one-on-one fragrance consultation with me, with this guy, you can for just $50. We'll do a 40-minute fragrance consultation. We'll do like a fragrance timeline of what fragrances you've bought, what fragrances you seem to be into, and we can tell you where your fragrance journey is going. Now, this isn't a new thing for me. I used to do fragrance consultations all the time for 5 years actually, but that was on shop floors in the biggest stores in England, such as Selfridges, House of Fraser, and Harvey Nichols. It's so lovely that I'm doing it again. It was one of my favorite things to do back in the day, just, you know, talking to people, because of course these videos are great and they're wonderful and they're amazing, but it's also good if I can just be able to talk to you in person and I can get you a proper fragrance consultation. Just email me, info@thefragranceapprentice.co.uk with an inquiry, and we'll go from there. So let's get into it. So I'm going to give you an honourable mention here because I want to mention this fragrance in this springtime and summertime as many times as possible because I truly love this. I think it's an amazing fragrance. I think it's a beautiful composition, even though it is quite straightforward on first sniff. This is Cow by Zoologist. So this got a bit of backlash because Zoologist is usually known for really crazy, really over the top, animalic, challenging fragrances. That's what Victor Wong likes to do. That's what Victor Wong's fans enjoy. They enjoy reeking when they wear his fragrances. Look at Tyrannosaurus Rex, look at Hummingbird, you look at one of my all-time favorites, which is Sloth. I want to give Sloth a little bit of love this year as well. These are very powerful fragrances, but this is a simple, straightforward, vanilla, creamy smell. Very simple, very nice, quite floral, but it's fantastic. It's so delicate, so intricate, so beautiful. Now, this is a good amount of money, but I don't want you to be completely put off by that. Some people might find this a little bit too straightforward, a little bit too simple, but to me, this is an absolute banger of a fragrance. It integrates everything that I love, which is the artistic expression of fragrance, because fragrance is art. It's not just something that you put on and smell nice. It is something that you should use to express yourself. Probably the most streamlined fragrance that Victor Wong has ever produced. So although that isn't a fragrance that I've necessarily consistently recommended, that's a fragrance I'm going to be consistently recommending to you this year. So where should we go first? I think we should start with this one. This is Bobo by Kana. I'm really happy to have brought this to everybody's attention. It's a fragrance that people don't talk about, and they should talk about it a lot more because it's amazing. This has got like a warming, vanillic, orange blossom, citrus smell. Lots of like medium notes, okay? So there's nothing too high and screechy, and yet there's nothing too bassy and woody and, you know, dark or anything like that. This is a fragrance that's right in the middle of the nose pyramid, I suppose. Really great wavelength, and because of that, you get something that is going to last a good amount of time, that's going to smell balsamic, that's going to smell kind of oily, but it's got a really pleasant citrus smell in here. Compliment getter, bit feminine, but you know, you really got to think about that. It is a little bit feminine, a little bit, it can go quite floral, especially as it dries down. I get 2 comments about this fragrance. The first one is, thank you so much for introducing me to this fragrance, and second, is this named after Mr. Burns' bear in The Simpsons? It might be, who knows. So let's go designer now. This is Givenchy Gentleman Cologne. I saw somebody comment recently, don't tell him, George, don't tell him about Gentleman Cologne. This is going to be our little secret. I'm sorry, well, the secret's going out. Givenchy Gentleman Cologne is absolutely amazing. And the older that I get, the more and more I appreciate this. Not to say that this isn't a young fragrance, it's just the vetiver in here, the green, earthy vetiver, as soon as you spray this on, along with some beautiful sublime lemon and orange in the composition, is absolutely top tier. I even said, actually, it's funny, with Zoologist, I wish that Victor Wong would do his own interpretation of this. And I know what the fragrance would be called. I've done a video on this before. It would be called Grass Snake. You could do a fragrance based on Givenchy Gentleman Cologne, make it more niche, make it bigger and bolder, and have it called Grass Snake, and it will be a zoologist fragrance. Just pay me a royalty. Just pay me. Listen, I've always said that I'd never do a fragrance, but I love that idea so much that if Victor Wong actually wanted to do that fragrance and, I don't know, get me involved in some way, I'd actually probably do that. I think that the heady, earthy vetiver in here just really suits what Victor Wong does. Prada Iris Cidre. So there are some lovers of this. There are some detractors. The thing is, right, is that this smells like the most expensive, beautiful shaving cream ever. And some people don't want to wear that. Some people are going to be put off by that. It is extraordinarily clean. If you just want a fragrance that just smells like squeaky clean on you, with that soapiness, with a little bit of bubble bath, but mostly that sort of shaving foam smell, that is what this is. It is pure, clean, cleanly bath, body, shaving foam smell. And some people, they're going to find that too simple, they're going to find that too straightforward, but this is fantastic. And I wear this every now and then, well, when I just want to smell extraordinarily clean. Let's keep rolling with the Pradas. This was on top of my list recently on fragrances that I could recommend to absolutely everyone. This is Prada Lunarossa Carbon. Stunning fragrance. Takes the idea of Sauvage and to a degree the Bleu de Chanel line, but not as much. Adds the expensive, clean, soapy shaving cream smell that we have in this and many of the other Prada fragrances like Ombre and L'Homme. And what you get is like Sauvage, but cleaner, with like a shaving foam talcum powder smell, but it still retains that metallic element that's absolutely exquisite. This has the potential, in my opinion, to be one of the greatest springtime fragrances ever created. It has everything for a man who's looking to smell great and clean. Okay, let's go with another niche. This is Yuzu Soda by Strangers Parfums. So, great way. I mean, what a fucking scent. That really is something else. I need to get whatever Prince's doing. I need to be checking out. I've described this many a time as like a 70s fragrance, 70s like Kouros, bleachy type fragrance. You bring it forward into the modern era, you slap some modern citruses that are almost Chanel-like, actually, almost kind of like Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. You get the outer husk of a lemon, like the lemon skin, shave that, you put that in there, with the sort of the aldehydic nature of the Chanels and the bleachy powerhouse king smells from Kouros and Paco Rabanne Pour Homme. You put that all together, you get this in a little 30ml. Amazing, a tour de force, a fantastic, fantastic fragrance. Love it. Now, I was thinking of recommending Explorer, but I always get told off when I recommend Explorer by Mont Blanc. So fine, if you don't want that Aventus clone, then I'll give you my favourite interpretation of Aventus. What is it? You know it. It's Iocco I Mirage 23. This is Aventus if it was Italian, if it had an Italian DNA. A lot more citrusy, a lot more floral. You know, the more that I've smelt this, you know, I've had this for years now, years and years, nearly half a decade actually. You know, when I first smelt it, I thought, oh, you know, kind of like an interpretation of Aventus. It's not true though. It's very, very different. In my opinion, it's better, lasts longer, a lot more fuller. Bitter neroli that's in here that really differentiates it. Aventus is more bergamot, Sicilian lemon kind of vibe, you know, calm, straightforward, pleasant, nice. No, this is more bitter. This is more of an angrier type of lemon, more in line with what I'm going to be showing you next. But an amazing interpretation of Aventus. Very, very pricey. But look, you know, I've had this since 2019. We'll be using this all up in summer. Next up is Oud Mango by Renier. You know, I feel as though with this one, I really try my best to get people to try it. I don't know if you have. I know that Renier stuff is a little bit harder to get, but you should, because this is one of the most unique interpretations of oud I've ever smelled. This is oud and mango. How the hell does that work, right? That shouldn't work, but it actually really does. When I smell it, you know, even along with, you know, comparing it to all these, it's just so different. It's really, really one of the more different fragrances on the spring market, and I fear for it, really. All the time, I always think, you know, it's going to get discontinued or it's not going to do very well, because there is sort of nothing like it, really. And I know, right, that sounds like such a marketing gimmick, you know what I mean? There's nothing really like it, it's so unique, but it's true. It actually is. When I smell things like this and 2 Degree Boss bottled oud, I actually really feel as though oud has been really underutilized. I think that there's so many creative and imaginative things that you can do with a note of oud, but people just don't do it. People are scared to do it. Next one is a bit of a blast from the past. This is Sean John, Unforgivable. A rum, boozy orientated interpretation of Millésime Imperial. I actually smelt this just before I smelt Millésime Imperial, actually. That's a long story which I'll get into, you know, another time. But yeah, if you've always wanted to know what Millésime Imperial smells like, well, now you can smell Milestone, because Millésime Imperial doesn't smell like Millésime Imperial anymore. But if you want a more youthful, fuller, richer version of Millésime Imperial that has a lot more rum, has a lot more going on, has a lot more complexity to it, you do sacrifice the really, really wispy, beautiful sea salt accord of Millésime Imperial to get this. But if you want the fruity, watermelony kind of thing that goes on, you pack that with a lot of sugar and alcohol, you get Sean John's Unforgivable, and it's amazing. To left, this is from the house of Zaharoff, and this is Signature Pour Homme. Now, I have recommended this usually in autumn, but I wore it last spring, and that was quite something. And so I have consistently recommended this, but I think I've misappreciated the fact that I thought that this was autumn because of the warming effect that's in here. But, you know, this has got a similar sort of tone to this, but this is darker and deeper, and I think that for me, you can wear this in the day and you can wear this in the spring evening, and these two fragrances can go very, very well together because they have the same sort of vibe, which is they are classic fragrance DNAs updated and brought to a new time period. Zaharoff Signature is an amazing fragrance, and it's again a unique fragrance on the market. It's something that not many people attempted to do, and sure, it's engaging, and it's something you should definitely check out if you haven't already. But finally, this is a fragrance that I talked about a lot last year. This is a fragrance that I've been consistently talking on and on about, and this is, somebody once said to me, "Oh, George, it's either fucking Bulgari Man in Black Review or Millésime Imperial. That's how you roll." Well, that's winter and summer sorted out, but what's my spring version of Millésime Imperial or Bulgari Man in Black? Well, it's got to be this now. It's Eau Sauvage Parfum by Christian Dior. Absolute banger. I recently said something I want to elaborate. This is a fragrance. This is like a masculine generational fragrance. This is a smell that will not die. This kind of smell has been there since the dawn of perfumery, and it will never go away. The cold, bitter, jagged, neroli with some woods. That is a fragrance as old as time, and there's been many, many different interpretations of it. But this is a great summarization of that smell. You know, this has got roots in Acqua di Parma's Colonia. I even covered all this in 8 Most Important Years in the Fragrance Industry, which you can go and see now. Yeah, this is an incredible interpretation of one of the oldest men's fragrance DNAs in the entire planet. And it is a man's birthright to be able to own this fragrance of this high quality. We don't really deserve fragrances this good. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want your own fragrance consultation, please just email me, info@thefragrancepraise.co.uk, then just write in the subject, fragrance consultation. I'll get back to you within 24 hours, and we can just set something up for either the end of March, April, or May. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.